You're on.
Hold on, let me finish. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Hi kids. Welcome to Disney Animation Reviews. We're getting really close to the end. Just a couple more weeks here, and then Ralph Breaks the Internet will be in theaters. By the way, Ralph Breaks the Internet is going to have some new songs in there, but I don't want to spoil it for those of you who don't want any spoilers till the movie comes out. Plus, the internet already has information on the new Ralph Breaks the Internet stuff, so you can check it out yourself. Anyway, let's dive right into it. So, after Princess and the Frog, in 2010, once again, mostly live-action stuff, like the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland, billion-dollar grosser, won Academy Awards for Best Art Direction and Best Costume Design, with an additional nomination for Best Visual Effects. And then other live-action Disney films like The Sorcerer's Apprentice, starring Nicolas Cage, and the Disney Channel original movie, Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam, the sequel to 2008's Camp Rock. Disney also had stuff like the TV series Good Luck Charlie on Disney Channel, and the third Tinkerbell film, Tinkerbell and the Great Fairy Rescue, following the original Tinkerbell and Tinkerbell and the Lost Treasure. Probably 2010's biggest thing from Disney that everybody remembers is Disney and Pixar's 11th feature film, Toy Story 3.
Woo!
Toy Story 3 turned out to be an even bigger hit than I think anybody would have imagined. Even though Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, and Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland had achieved this beforehand, Toy Story 3 was the first animated Disney feature to make over $1 billion at the worldwide box office. It doesn't have a perfect 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes like the other two films do, but it comes really close with 99%. It also won 2 Academy Awards, Best Animated Feature and Best Original Song for We Belong Together, the song that Randy Newman contributed for the end credits, and received some other Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, like Beauty and the Beast and Up before it. The subject of today's review is Disney's Tangled, and as the opening and closing Walt Disney Animation Studios logos tell us, it is Walt Disney Animation Studios' 50th animated motion picture.
Woohoo!
That means we've only got 6 movies after this, and then Ralph Breaks the Internet hits theaters for Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Can't believe how close we are already.
Mm-hmm.
Tangled was released to theaters Thanksgiving 2010. It is a computer-animated version of the classic fairy tale Rapunzel. This is Disney's first time doing a computer-animated princess story. The idea of a Rapunzel story actually was in development for years. For a while, it was going to be the directing debut of Disney animator Glenn Keane. It was originally titled Rapunzel Unbraided, and then shortened to just Rapunzel. And the idea was that it was going to be a Shrek-like version of the fairy tale. Eventually, by 2008, Glenn Keane and his co-directing partner, Dean Wellens, who moved on to write and direct the animated Disney short film Tick-Tock Tale, they got removed as directors, or quit the film. Glenn remained on board as an executive producer alongside John Lasseter, while Wellens moved on to other films. But Tangled got in the new directing hands of Nathan Grano and Byron Howard, the head of story and one of the directors of Bolt. Overall, Tangled turned out to be a pretty good success. Actually, more than a pretty good success, it was a big success. Not billion-dollar big like Toy Story 3, but still good enough, making nearly $600 million worldwide. Walt Disney Animation Studios' biggest feature film hit in over a decade since Tarzan. Over a decade, that's a long time to wait.
Yeah.
But it all worked out. Tangled is one of the best, actually, yeah, I'm not gonna say the best. Tangled is one of the best Disney princess films, and one of Disney's best animated films, period, of the last decade or so. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
So, let's talk Tangled. So, at the start of the film, our male co-lead, Flynn Rider, or rather, Eugene Fitzherbert, voiced by Zachary Levi, gives us some opening narration that goes a little something like this. Once upon a time, a single drop of golden sunlight falls from the sky and grows a magic golden flower that has the power to heal the sick and injured. Centuries later, there's a kingdom run by a loving king and queen, and the queen's about to have a baby but has fallen sick, so the gang sets out to find the flower. They find it, use it to heal the queen, and she gives birth to baby Rapunzel, who's got the same golden power in her hair that the flower had. All is going well until the old woman Mother Gothel, voiced by Donna Murphy, who's been using this flower for years to keep herself young and beautiful, kidnaps Rapunzel and raises her in a tower to keep herself youthful forever. 18 years later, Rapunzel, voiced by Mandy Moore, has grown up in the tower largely alone except for when Gothel visits her, but has found ways to keep herself occupied by painting, baking, and hanging out with her best friend, Pascal the chameleon.
And actually, many of her hobbies are ones that I like reading, artistic work, and baking.
You should really see Jordan's paintings. She's been taking some art classes at Grandview University here in Iowa. She's a really good painter. I guess she's gotten her artistic inspiration from Rapunzel and her cooking experience from Tiana. Mandy Moore wasn't the first choice to voice Rapunzel. They also considered Kristen Chenoweth and Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon?
I think they both would have done a good job, but Mandy Moore does a great job.
Yeah, she's an excellent singer.
Right. Each year, although Rapunzel loves her life in the tower, every year on her birthday, the lanterns from the King and Queen are flown into the sky in hopes that Rapunzel will return home someday. Rapunzel has enjoyed seeing them from her tower, but wants to see them up close. However, the strict parental guardianship of Gothel keeps her from leaving the tower, as she repeatedly warns Rapunzel about the dangers that might lurk out there. Meanwhile, Flynn Rider, or rather Eugene Fitzherbert, and his partners in crime, the Stabbington brothers, have stolen Rapunzel's tiara and make an escape from the guards. Eugene hides from the Stabbingtons and the guards, and in particular the guard's horse, Maximus, and manages to hide in Rapunzel's tower.
Startled, Rapunzel knocks him out with a frying pan and locks him in her closet.
Ultimately deciding that trying to talk to Gothel again isn't going to do any good, Rapunzel instead turns to Eugene and will only give him back the bag with the tiara inside if he takes her to see the lanterns the following night and returns her home. Reluctantly, he agrees to help, which starts the classic road trip journey storyline as they brave ruffians and thugs, as well as Gothel and the Stabbingtons and the guards. And along the way, obviously, they'll fall in love, because it is a princess story.
Right.
Obviously, something that'll distinguish Tangled from other Disney princess stories is the fact that it's computer animated. And boy, does computer animation look great or what. In the 15 years since Toy Story, computer animation has really grown over the last few years. And Disney feature animation by themselves seems to have found their footing in this medium. Whereas Chicken Little proved that they could do a computer animated feature film, but couldn't craft a good storyline, Tangled, they seem to have found their footing, and they seem to know what they're doing, in both storyline and animation. The computer animation in Tangled is gorgeous. The humans all look great, especially when you compare how plastic the humans looked in the original Toy Story to how they look in Toy Story 3 and here in Tangled. Also, probably the best moment of computer animation in this film is when Rapunzel and Eugene are on their rowboat ride, watching the lanterns. It's so beautiful and amazing. Honestly, I wish we had seen this film in 3D. Because I can't even imagine how amazing those lanterns looked in 3D.
Yeah.
Something else that grabs me about the storyline is our lead characters. While some will compare them to other princes and princesses, they still have their own unique characteristics. Despite the fact that Rapunzel seems to, personality-wise, strongly resemble Ariel from The Little Mermaid, she's not a total damsel in distress like Aurora, nor is she a total warrior like Mulan. She's kind of in between, where she's excited about experiencing new stuff out in the real world, but also remains wary because of what Gothel has told her about stuff like ruffians and thugs. Even so, she's got Pascal to protect her, and he's pretty cute as far as sidekicks go.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about Rapunzel is her dress. It is just beautiful.
Well, all the princesses have iconic dresses that make them beautiful. Although, obviously, one thing that distinguishes Rapunzel from other princesses is her hair. With 70 locks of gold goodness, with 70 feet of golden locks, Rapunzel has the longest hair of any Disney princess I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And writing the computer animation software to animate that hair to move like real hair was no picnic.
Yeah, I think my hair's more like, what, 2 or 3 feet?
I'm not sure. But, yeah, animating that hair was hard. But I'm amazed they were able to pull it off. While Flynn Rider may not be the best Disney prince ever, he's definitely better than Prince Naveen. He's somewhat like a naughtier version of Aladdin, as one of the Blu-ray reviews has said, but I have to admit, I do really love Zach Levi's performance. Not as good as Mandy Moore, but still really good.
Yeah, Eugene definitely stands out. He's strong, he's cunning, he's handsome, and his smolder...
Yeah, he does have some emotional depth, but I don't want to spoil too much. Gothel I'm not as big on as far as villains go. She's basically, if you compare her to Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, she's basically a more toned down version of Frollo, but I have to admit Donna Murphy does a really good job.
And her song, Mother Knows Best, is definitely one of the better villain songs.
Not one of my favorites, but it's okay. And speaking of songs, the music and songs in this movie are by longtime Disney songwriter and composer Alan Menken, and helping him on the songs this go around is Glenn Slater, who worked with him on Home on the Range and the Broadway version of The Little Mermaid. Songs like When Will My Life Begin and the Thugs song I've Got a Dream, those are some pretty good standouts, but of course the song that got the Oscar nomination was I See the Light.
It's a love song.
Which is Rapunzel and Eugene's love song. Which leads me into probably the biggest conflict I have with this movie. It got a Best Original Song nomination for I See the Light at the Academy Awards, but why didn't it get nominated for Best Animated Feature? Even if it did get nominated, Toy Story 3 was obviously going to win, which it did. DreamWorks How to Train Your Dragon, I can understand getting nominated, because that's one of DreamWorks' better animated films. But Tangled doesn't get the third nomination? Seriously, what is it with the Academy and their choices of what gets nominated and what doesn't? Do they watch all the submissions before they choose? I mean, really, what is going on? Academy Award nomination snub aside, other stuff to like about Tangled is the fact that they do a montage when Rapunzel and Eugene are actually exploring the kingdom before they have their romantic rowboat ride. Pascal and Maximus, of course you can't have a princess movie without animal sidekicks. It is a little awkward that Pascal and Maximus don't talk in this movie. I mean, I understand why the animals in Pocahontas didn't talk, because it was more serious, but... Anyway, and also, even minor characters like the thugs were pretty cool. Especially with the voice actors, Brad Garrett and Jeffrey Tambor. So yeah, I most definitely recommend Tangled.
Yes! It actually turned into one of my favorites after I saw it.
Yep. Definitely one worth watching. And it's got a pretty strong franchise as far as franchises go. Let's see. As promised, here's our thoughts on what happened after Tangled directly. A short film sequel, Tangled Ever After, was released in theaters early 2012 with the 3D re-release of Beauty and the Beast, and can now be viewed on Blu-ray and DVD as a bonus feature on the Diamond Edition of Walt Disney's Cinderella, and as part of the Walt Disney Animation Studios Short Films Collection. Written and directed by Nathan Grano and Byron Howard, who directed the movie, and featuring Mandy Moore and Zach Levi returning to voice Rapunzel and Eugene.
Oh, can I explain it?
Oh, sure.
Rapunzel and Eugene are finally getting married.
But the main focus is Pascal and Maximus, who accidentally lose the wedding rings and create chaos around the kingdom trying to get them back. It's absolutely hilarious, and anyone who enjoyed the movie will definitely enjoy the short.
Yeah, and Rapunzel and Eugene's wedding outfits are definitely a standout, especially Eugene's.
Rapunzel also got starred in the Sophia the First special episode, The Curse of Princess Ivy, where she helped rescue Sophia and Amber so they could save their kingdom from the evil Princess Ivy.
What happens is, Amber finds out Sophia's secret with the amulet, and then Sophia won't let her use it. Amber, secretly borrows it. By that I mean she steals it. And wanted to summon Rapunzel to see her, but curses her and summons Princess Ivy instead.
And now it's up to Sophia and Amber, with a little help from Rapunzel, to defeat Princess Ivy and take back their kingdom. As usual, the princess gets a son, except this time Rapunzel's son is more toward Amber than Sophia, whereas most of the princess's sons are guarded toward Sophia, Rapunzel sings to Amber. Although this isn't the first time Amber's met a Disney princess, because that happened with Jasmine and Mulan as well.
Right. And Rapunzel's song, Dear Risk It All, is actually pretty good.
Yep. The princesses usually get the really good songs. last year on Disney Channel, they came out with Tangled, the TV series.
Eventually retitled Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure.
Right. That's what it's called. It's currently in its second season, with a third season in production for a future date. At the start of Tangled, the series, Rapunzel has now left the tower. Spoiler alert.
and spoiler alert, she gets her hair cut by Eugene.
And she and Eugene are at the palace, where Rapunzel has reunited with her real parents, the king and queen. And, but during a walk, she accidentally gets her long golden hair back.
Thanks to some mad spiky black rocks that grew in the area where the flower used to be.
And now she has to learn how to deal with her hair, and throughout the series, learns to help the subjects of her kingdom. In the second season, she, Eugene, and some friends of theirs follow the Black Rocks to find Rapunzel's destiny, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Mandy Moore and Zach Levi return to voice Rapunzel and Eugene. All our favorite characters from the movie are back, including the Thugs, Pascal, and Maximus. We get to know more about the king and queen in this one, and we have a main new character, Rapunzel's tough-as-nails handmaiden and confidant, Cassandra.
Who had a bit of a rivalry with Eugene.
But they eventually grow to like each other.
Our main character is a 14-year-old boy named Varian.
Who's an alchemist. Although my favorite of the new characters besides Cassandra is Eugene's old crime-fighting buddy, Lance Strongbow, voiced by James Monroe Iglehart, who played the genie in Aladdin on Broadway.
Now, to be honest, Lance is no genie.
No, but he's a nice guy once you get to know him. And the series has new songs by the original songwriters, Alan Menken and Glenn Slater. I think that's about it for the Tangled franchise, other than Rapunzel's obviously going to show up with the other princesses and Ralph Breaks the Internet.
With
her long golden hair, because that's what we all identify her by. Tangled was released on Blu-ray and DVD spring 2011. The Blu-ray comes with deleted scenes, a 12-minute behind-the-scenes look at the making of the film, and extended songs, plus a bunch of trailers of the film. Some promote the actual movie, some act as advertisements for stuff in the movie. It's an interesting trailer roster. Both the Blu-ray and DVD come with 2 original storybook openings and the Disney 50 Animated Features Countdown, which actually counts up all of Disney's animated features up to this point, from Snow White to Tangled. So that's our thoughts on Tangled. I can definitely say Tangled is worth watching more than once, and especially if you have little girls in your family or your friends group. And I have to say, Tangled is definitely the film that brought Disney feature animation back to relevance after so many years when their animated features weren't doing so good. Which just goes to show ya, when you wish upon a star,
your dreams come true.
Well, it's time to go now. See you next time. Goodbye!